Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the BOCC statutory meeting. Today's date is Thursday, July 23rd, and the time is 9:01 a.m. We will call this meeting to order. First up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Robert, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will take attendance, beginning with Mr. Hirsch.
Brendan Hirsch, Interim County Attorney.
Paula McFeeters.
Zach Swearingen.
Miles Lucero.
Robert Choi, CAO.
Thank you to everybody else in attendance. Are there any modifications to today's agenda?
There are none.
I will ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That'll bring us into public comment. We've got two people on the sheet. If there is anyone who would like to speak in addition, just let me know and we'll get you up here. But we have Teresa first and then Laura after her. Whichever one, doesn't matter. There's equal feedback on both of them.
Okay. I'm Carissa Freiberger. I'm the district manager for Pine Drive Water District in Beulah, Colorado. First of all, I do want to put out a thank you to Public County and the public community for the way that you received us as evacuees. You fed us, you provided toothbrushes and bottled water, and often sympathy as we cried. Now we are going into the rebuilding process, and we need a different kind of help. I want to make clear that I'm not asking for money from the public county, but I've been told that the best way for us to access FEMA and state emergency funding is through the county. And we need help doing that, making those contacts and navigating what is a very complicated system. Our water system is 3 miles long. We serve 166 taps. We lost 70 of those in full destruction. We have several others with severe damage. Every time a house burned, it opened a tap. So by day 2 of the fire, our system was empty. That's not supposed to happen to a water system. So CDHPE has put a variety of requirements for testing and inspection on us before we can produce water again. We're in the process of doing that. And hopefully, if everything goes right, we should have water up again in about 2 weeks. Hopefully. In the meantime, those of us who've gone home are all living without water. We have dealt with fire before in Beulah. We have dealt with the effects of fire. Both water systems have dealt with stuff washing into our weirs. We've dealt with all of the things that come with the fire. We've dealt with flooding, but nothing on the scale of what we're about to deal with. If you stand in the middle of the Beulah Valley and make a 360-degree circle, you will see the hills black to the top in all directions. We have burned all 4 watersheds nearly completely. What's coming into us is going to be huge. Everybody I talk to, insurance agents, state people, they're all interested in helping us repair the infrastructure to what it was. That's not going to work. We need help putting in systems ahead of our treatment to help take the ash out. We will need additional systems in the treatment to deal with what's coming. We are going to need more funding to take care of those kinds of things. In addition, we have lost 42% of our customer base. We're going to need help with finding revenue to help us get by through the rebuilding process so that we can even keep functioning to allow us to make water for the remaining houses and for those being rebuilt. So again, I'm not asking for county money. I am asking for your help in navigating the system to get us the money that we need to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And yes, we'll certainly get with you as soon as right after this meeting, because you're absolutely right. It's hard to navigate. There's a lot of process to this. We're still trying to do a lot of that on our end. And as we've sat up here and said, it's not a guarantee that we're going to get reimbursement, but we're trying to do everything we possibly can of dotting all of our I's and crossing our T's to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the best position to go get that reimbursement. And quite frankly, all of the affected areas working together is beneficial to everybody. So, yeah, we'll certainly get with you right after this, if you want to hang out and then go from there.
Did you write your email address down, ma'am, on the sign-in sheet?
She did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to stay in contact. I think having you articulate the things that you said in writing so that as we begin to prepare these packages that we are going to pass up to the state and then eventually to the feds, having your piece of it, the data that you just cited as part of that package for your needs specifically, that will be extremely helpful. So that's something that I will ask is to get that in writing.
I can
And
do
then,
that.
of course, like the commissioner said, we will continue the conversations. You're one of several groups that is going to lean on us and up the chain for help. So we are committed to keeping that communication open, and thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Laura? And I thought I saw her earlier.
She's here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
How's my volume?
Good.
Good.
Okay. My topic is also about water. And we have, according to the CDPHE website, for several years, we've had chromium-6 in the water. Not in the water system, but I believe in the groundwater. And that's been detected since at least 2023. One point, which is a point source between Edson Arroyo, which is up by the industrial park. Was that south of town, southeast, something like that? Between Edson Arroyo and the bridge by Salt Creek. So that'd be Highway 50 east. So it's been narrowed down to between those 2 points. And according to a website that I can't remember the source, but I believe it's Excel Energy is one of the businesses that has violated whatever agreement there is. I believe it's a discharge permit, from what I understand. But there are also other companies that could be discharging that chromium-6, it's a carcinogen, cancer causing. It does not occur naturally in the environment. It is man-made. And so before I die, I'm requesting that somebody find out who is discharging it, stop them from discharging it, and hold them accountable. This affects the downstream users. I looked up all the way to the county line east, and it's been detected at John Martin Reservoir. So all the way from Pueblo. It doesn't occur from the reservoir, from Lake Pueblo, up until, I believe, Fountain Creek, at the confluence of the Arkansas River. Those points, I did send a kind of like a report at the PACOG meeting last month. And that was attached to the email of everything that everybody got. So you guys have access to that. And yeah, that's all I ask.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, have you gotten any response yet from anybody
Pueblo?
from just PACOG,
I'm
from the
sorry.
PACOG meeting?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
And we have a PACOG meeting at 12 today.
Okay,
It has been changed to 201 West 8th on the second floor because of the emergency operations center being used.
okay.
So hopefully I'll hear something back from them, but it's a big issue, and it takes time and for people to look into, but whether it's Pueblo County's responsibility or Pueblo City or both, That's my wish.
Okay, yeah, we'll certainly, I mean, we're all part of PayCog, obviously, so we'll all, I would assume that it would be a collaborative effort between multiple bodies to include, you know, city, county, like you said. But yeah, we'll certainly look into it. And then just for everybody's sake, that address, the 201 West Eighth, is the old Wells Fargo building, which is now the GSC. And it's second floor in that conference room, correct? So,
Thank you.
yeah, we'll certainly look into it. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak for public comment? Seeing
Hold
none.
on 1 second, Mr. Chair.
Oh, I looked right at you. I guess.
Stating my name for record, Kareem Ayub, speaking right now as a volunteer through my company, Phoenix Eye Consulting, helping with the Beulah effort. Just wanted to bring up to your attention and make it on public forum that we are currently helping those displaced by the fire, survivors whose properties were burnt during the fire with their demo permits at no cost to them. Yesterday we were there around 2. Today we hope to be there a little bit earlier. But please, pretty please spread the word. Go to the Beulah Community Center. Everybody that's scared of computers, we will take the mysticism out of them. We'll help them get their homeowner's permit. There's a lot of volunteers right now. The Methodists, Baptists, Christian Aid, all of them are there helping clear these properties at no cost to the homeowners. We have to use those resources. They will dwindle. They will lead to the next tragedy. Don't let that little paper that takes 10 minutes to fill out. Carmen and her team have been outstanding at helping us with the process. We'll be there today again, hopefully tomorrow and Friday, until as many of those as we can get out of the way. But please, please help us spread the word. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kareem. And you're absolutely right. Just they will leave. And if we do not use those resources, it's such a waste. So, thank you for highlighting that, and thank you for working to get that center itself, because I know that you were the main point of contact that I shoved people to get them in there. So we appreciate you. I don't know if we should clap for you again today, because we've done that already. You get one clap around here. All right, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, we have next up, the Pueblo County Treasurer Statement of Fees collected for June of 2026. I will ask for a motion to accept and file that report.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes, and that'll bring us into our consent agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
Okay, we have 2 items. The first 3A is a resolution continuing the authorization of a declaration of local disaster emergency regarding the Aspen Acres area fire. Item 3B is a resolution approving Pueblo County submission of a notice of intent to participate in the 2026 election.
Okay, I don't have anything on either. You guys are good?
I just wanted to mention, Commissioners, item 3B, that intent to participate. As of this moment, I don't think this board has any specific ballot language that we're intending to send to the clerk. However, there is a deadline that we have to meet in case. So this is what that is a placeholder to let the clerk know in case something comes up that we reserve the right to participate. I do know that we will be passing along a ballot measure on behalf of the library district, but this is unrelated to that. This is just for this board. So I
Right.
just want to clear that up.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification, just as that placeholder there. I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes, and that'll bring us into our regular agenda, Mr. Hirsch.
We have 1 item today, 4A, which is a resolution approving the 5th Amendment to the Inmate Medical Services Agreement between Pueblo County and NAFCare Incorporated to provide inmate medical services at the Pueblo County Detention Facility and the Dennis Mays Judicial Building.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Jeremy Bacher. I'm the Operations Captain at the Pueblo County Jail. This resolution is nothing more than to meet some time parameters to get the final negotiations done with the contract. Some things that have hindered us with that time frame would be the tragedy of the fire, and then, of course, the moving into the new jail that we're 2 weeks into now, and having some growing pains with the new building, but we're working through those for sure. This will allow us to continue our weekly conversations that we're having right now, just working on that language for that finalization. Some of the things that will be brought to the table for the new contract coming that we're better defining and making sure have complete understandings would be a courier service for OTPs, for those that are in our service, or in our custody at the sheriff's office, making sure they're getting the MAP medications they need. We're looking into a more robust MAP program within the facility. We're also going to go to a medical technology barcoding dispensing system. So we'll have a better look and a more accurate look at how meds are being dispensed throughout the facility, not just MAP, but it would include that. Our current provider, NavCare, and continuing provider, NavCare now, they have some technology upgrades of their own, so we'll have some more direct interfacing that would be on the inmate tablets, so they can have more direct information as far as their medical needs and things like that within the facility. So I had some confusion before between MOU or an amendment, and I want to thank Mr. Hirsch for helping me get the amendment done as a better way just to get this contract across the finish line. So that's all I have.
Well, I don't think we publicly talked about the move actually into the jail, but that was done pretty efficiently. I mean, within like 24 hours almost, right?
We were forecasting about a 9-hour time frame. We were down to about 5 hours.
Yeah.
It was very quick.
Right.
And we're very thankful for that, actually.
Yeah.
So
How are things going so far in terms of the area that you are responsible for, flow, and what do you think overall?
So our task, our duties don't change. What changes is the layout of the facility. So if I had to say any growing pains, it's just maneuvering through that flow. But now that we're in our second week, you can tell that the rough spots are smoothing out a little bit.
It's good to hear.
I'm sure we'll still have some growing pains. That's anticipated. But again, for week 2, things are looking good. So.
Thank you.
Captain, thank you for being here today, sir. Everything I'm about to say is not a reflection of you personally. I want to be clear about that.
Sure.
Every time I see this line item in our budget, it hurts, right? We're
Yes.
talking about $6 million worth of medical contract at the jail. That equates to $16,000 a day, 365 days a year. Is there any hope whatsoever that as we issue this new RFP and we look at transitioning our operations to the new jail, can that number come down? We're talking 4% of our general fund costs are going to this one contract for
Yeah.
medical care at the jail.
Unfortunately, that is the nature of caring for people in our custody. This morning, our head count was 406. It's been as high as 530. Depending on the need of those in our custody, which the best figure I could give you is 85% of our inmate population, whether they're temporary or they're on a more permanent basis before they're maybe sentenced or sent to a state facility. They have chronic issues, mental health. They have things that haven't been addressed on their own for years. When they come into our facility, we have to care for those things. With the opioid and other crises out there, fentanyl and things like that, that's also going to continue to hinder. But NavCare is a good provider for us. So NavCare is willing to work with us through this year specific, yes, to get the contract done, but that'll also help us apply funds to the future to offset some costs for a more robust MAP program within the facility. I can't give you a clear answer and a definite no, the costs are going to go down. That's all based off of our population, unfortunately. And we all know this is a problem more broad than just PCJ, unfortunately.
So I want to be clear about how the billing works. We approve a contract up to an amount, correct? And then we are billed on actual services rendered?
Yes,
Okay. So we're using last year roughly landed about $5.7 million worth of medical service at the jail.
I believe so, yes.
It's just hard to swallow.
I don't disagree. I mean, we talk about, the potential for the new or where the dorms are now. And-
Diversion
Yeah.
possible?
And I mean, using that facility, but I mean, it's part of an overarching problem of, quite frankly, people that are in jail that probably shouldn't be. But that is the only place that we can put them, that might have, you know, a whole litany of mental health issues or addiction problems or anything else like that. But I mean, we do the best we can with the tools that we have, from a local level. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. And that money probably could be better spent in some type of different facility, some type of different treatment programs. I mean, break the law, there's obviously penalties for that. But the long-term care of just recycling people that get out, don't get the treatment or the help that they need, and then just repeat and just come right back through. That's a high cost to the taxpayer.
Well, even with our state partners to the BHA, and I'm sure the budget cutting and stuff like that that they're going through and streamlining processes, that chunk of money, if you will, that's huge to the detention budget within the sheriff's office own budget. And that's a huge liability source for us to take care of those folks in our custody. And it very much, it is difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't see an end to that, because we're always going to have people in custody. We've had, at least in my time here, 20 years of reform through the state, as far as who stays, who goes in custody and things like that. I think we have a more accurate picture now, but I think we have complications when it comes to addictions.
Mhm.
And I think the state is doing the best they can. And of course, there's grant funding for things like this. And we do apply for those things, and we try to take advantage of that as much as possible. But there's always going to be that real cost, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
You know, I think I think it's important to talk about this because we have other options, right? We have decisions on whether to fund pretrial services. We can use budget in places, and we have those difficult decisions. And I'm not saying I think we have to fund this, to be clear, but you know, there's people in jail is kind of the most expensive way to deal with any of our problems as a community. And the detention budget makes up about 20% of the general fund. That's 20% of all county dollars that we're using on jail. And it's really, really hard to swallow. I don't know what my point is, other than we have to try to fix this broken system. And I know there's much bigger things at play, like the medical industrial complex is not just an issue at our jail, it's an issue for hospitals across the country. I think people need to be aware of how much money we're spending, $16,000 a day on just medical care at this jail.
Yeah, I hear you, Commissioner, but I also believe the role of government is to provide public safety. That is why people pay taxes. It's part of the function of government to provide a safety net of protection for your community. It's not an option. And having visited the jail and talking with your medical staff, you know, one of the challenges that you all have is folks coming in that are undiagnosed with something, and they discover it while they're in jail, and then it becomes part of our treatment of them while they're there. And those
This-
are the underlying health issues that you talk about that are kind of hidden. People don't deal with them, but when they get incarcerated, then it becomes our role to facilitate that treatment. So I don't see it as an option. Obviously, it is something we are mandated to do because that's our role as government. And yes, it takes a huge chunk of our budget, but it's not just numbers we're dealing with. It's a function of keeping our community safe, providing a safe environment for those that are incarcerated, that they can get the treatment they need. You know, I can't imagine not providing those services to them. And yes, there's probably better ways to do it. It's frustrating. I wish our system worked better for everyone. I wish we didn't have people breaking the law, but that happens. And that's our job, to make sure that public safety is provided. So it's that balance, and it's hard in a tight budget year to look at numbers that high. I get it. But I know you're doing your best to try to navigate that and get us a good, a good negotiated rate. But again, it's an unknown. You don't know who's coming in and what issues they're going to have.
And I
So-
largely agree with you, Commissioner. I guess my point is public safety means more than putting people in jail, right? We have to have a safe jail. You're 100% correct. But we also have to continue the conversations of like, what other what proactive public safety measures can we use we have a big budget. Where can we put dollars towards keeping people out of jail so that these contracts don't continually have to just increase and blow up our budget? Captain, I wanted to also ask you, what kind of oversight is there? Do you have auditing mechanisms with NAVCare? I assume you're not a medical expert, but do you have folks on staff or, consultants that audit the work that NAVCare is saying that they're doing? So
Yes,
that we're
it's-
ensuring that we are, in fact, being billed correctly?
So we don't have anything internal other than our own financing pieces. However, we do have mechanisms built into the contract that money that's not spent that is returned to us off the contract. So case in point, we estimate off the annual CPI costs for whether it's medication costs, treatment costs, resource staffing costs, and of course, we have the budget coming up now that we're going to be looking into with this new contract. So we go off of those averages. We rely on our partner and their corporate entities within their offices to be able to audit that stuff and return what money is not used to us for that matter.
Put a different way, if, let's say the provider is doing something sketchy that, every inmate that comes through the door, they're giving them an X-ray so that they can bill out. And then they know Pueblo County is always going to reimburse for those dollars. How would we ever catch that?
How would we catch that? I'm going to say we're relying on our partners to provide the medical treatment that needs to be done. We don't do, I'm losing my word here for a minute. We don't do a lot of, sorry, I can't think of the term. We don't do medical treatments unless they're necessary. There is no, I don't know, I need to have my nose fixed type of thing because it's cosmetic type of thing. We're not doing anything like that. This is our medical for those folks in our custody. It's very human, right? People come to jail, they make mistakes, but there's a real human nature to what we do with running that jail and providing them that treatment. And that causes liability, not just for the sheriff's office, but for the county also. We do what we can to stabilize. We do what we can to make sure these folks are in and out of our facility as fast as they can, wherever they need to go. And we refer them to the community with the care that they've either received or were starting to receive so they can continue that on their own. Do they do that? Your guess is as best as mine. Yes.
Yeah. And I just want to reiterate, sir, this is not calling
I love the question.
your practices
Okay.
into question.
I appreciate it.
I just think, this is a big operation, right? And
Yes.
the more we work together to ask questions about the operation, the more that we understand the operation, the more we understand these massive contracts that we're approving every year, it helps. So thank you for being here.
And I don't mean to talk above my pay grade because I do have bosses myself, but if I would assume if there was questions in sessions that happened between the elected officials, I wouldn't mind being part of that. If there's more that you guys would like to discuss on that, I'm sure we would be very happy to have those discussions with you. So,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna suggest is maybe the ability to have that conversation on what an external audit, if you will, looks like, of, what a cost associated with that is to that point to make sure. And again, I don't think any of us up here are insinuating that there's something nefarious happening, but sometimes, it's not as easy to digest of people auditing themselves to an extent. So maybe one of us, maybe we look at a cost of what that might look like for services. I think it would also be hugely beneficial if you guys could come up with numbers on recidivism costs of people with